Ma'am, over to you.
Okay, thank you so much. Good evening, everyone, and I welcome you all to this session, though we are only 7 in number totally. But I assure that this will be a very interesting session, and you will definitely carry home some message from this session. For convenience, I have prepared a PPT so that you people can understand what I talk about, and I would like to share my screen.
I'll make
Can
you
you?
the, I'm sorry, I'll make you the co-host. Yes.
Thank you. Okay. So work from home. Now this has become such a common terminology, and we don't know how long it is going to continue. Maybe until 2022 or maybe forever. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to learn how to adjust to this and how to deal with the stressors, how to deal with the mental health issues arising from work from home, and maybe that is how we can train our brain to adjust to the circumstances. So, what is work from home? Is it good or bad? Well, I would say it is a double-edged sword because we can say it's good also, since we can work from home at our convenience, at our convenient time. We can wear whatever we want and turn off the video. We can end our work at any point of the day or start our work at any point of the day, and we can handle other chores along with the work from home simultaneously. Um, while these are the good aspects, of course, we'll be discussing about the bad aspects today. Mainly, we'll be discussing about the mental health issues. So, I see a lot of people coming to me with anxiety, depression because of the excessive workload or because of the odd working hours. And that is where I can say that work from home can be bad as well. But you know what? I think I have a solution how to deal with these bad aspects of work from home so that we do not go through mental health burden. So before we jump into how to deal with mental health issues, we should always know why it is affecting us in the first place. Working from office or working from home, how does it matter? Work is work after all, and we have been doing that work even earlier. Then what's new? Well, the odd working hours, the odd eating habits, or maybe most of us are keeping a bag of chips or a packet of biscuits along with us, or some sweets or some chocolates while working, and we keep eating that, and thus we skip our lunch. Most of the times we are eating something salty, and biologically, salt is known to be a natural antidepressant. So whenever our body is going through stress and tension, it is being studied that we crave for salts and sugars, and that is why we tend to eat more of it. And as a side effect, of course, we develop obesity, hypertension, diabetes, which we do not realize at this point, but it is a long term consequence. And of course, because of the work from home, even the offices have extended their working hours, and they are providing with more workload, assuming that your travel time is cut down and that you should be able to cope up with the workload. And of course, there are lack of boundaries, as I have seen many of my patients or clients coming to me and saying that they do not get time even to have their lunch. Cooking is altogether a different thing, but they do not even get 10 minutes to eat properly because they have a call to attend and they cannot decline the call. Or if they are seen online, then they have to respond to some message or mail or calls. So this is what we call lack of boundaries. While we were at office, we used to go there at maybe 9, 10 and come back by 5 or 6, and after that we were apparently not answerable for that day, and we could have postponed our work to the next day. But now it isn't like that. And of course, sometimes what happens, some of the colleagues might take off and request us that, can you do this for me? Or maybe I'll not be able to join today. Can you do this work on behalf of me? So these things again are leading to lack of boundaries, because a face-to-face conversation is completely different when it comes to asking a favor, whereas asking it telephonically or by a message may not be the same. And I have seen that this can lead to crossing of boundaries. And of course, when we work from home, there's the feeling isn't there that I have completed the task assigned to me today, because maybe the team doesn't come and appreciate you, like, okay, you have done well, or that we have completed the job assigned, or that that kind of friendly environment, or the team working together, that feeling lacks. And that is why sometimes there is a feeling of guilt of not doing enough, because we are always trained to look at the results and the rewards at the end of the day, and that is not happening at home, because the day starts with the same and the day ends with the same. Also, we are not meeting friends, we are not meeting our colleagues, we are not able to discuss things, or healthy gossip is not possible. We are not able to catch up with people at lunch in the office, and we are not able to dress up or have a good makeup or wear jewelry, which is very essential when you are trying to change your environment, because if you are continuing in the same attire, or not taking bath, or not shaving, or not having a light makeup, what happens is our brain is not getting adjusted to the change of surrounding. Like, we cannot easily accept that, okay, now I have to get ready for work, and that I have to concentrate on work. So kind of confusion for the brain, because we were dressed up the same way even before starting the work, and we are dressed up the same way while working. So that seriousness also lacks many a times, the discipline lacks, and that is where the work pace also comes down, the quality of work can come down. Also, there is uncertainty about future. Like, whenever the human brain has something to look forward to, like maybe a deadline or a goal, like I have to accomplish so and so, or I want to go for a picnic at the end of the day, or I want to go for shopping at the end of the week, then we always look forward to it. But when it comes to work from home, most of the times these days, because of the pandemic, we are not sure whether the pandemic is going to get over, whether we can even plan an outing, or whether it will be safe to go for an outing, or as simple as that, whether I'll be able to finish my work by 9 p.m. or 7 p.m. or not. That is also uncertain. So there is nothing as such to look forward to. And of course, as I said, we are multitasking. We are looking after our parents, our children, our housework, our maid, supervising everything, and then doing the paying the bills, and doing our work also cooking simultaneously maybe. So too many things and too much of burden on the brain, which otherwise when we are at the office space, we can clearly say that, no, I will not be able to do this because I'll be at the office and I will not be answerable from 9 to 5. So we can align our brain into concentrating on the given task at office, but at home that is not happening. And then there are misunderstandings. Like, many times what happens is, whatever you are trying to convey through messages or telephone, the intention might be different, but it might be perceived differently on the other end. And there might be some confusion happening, or maybe some delay in work, and you might not be able to explain yourself well because you're not face to face with your team or with your boss. And thus these misunderstandings happen with respect to the workplace. The misunderstandings also can happen with respect to family, because they must be thinking like, this person is all the time working, he or she has no time for family, and that he or she has become workaholic, or that he or she is not maintaining boundaries and doesn't care for the family anymore. So these kind of misunderstandings are very commonly happening, and you might also have heard or experienced spouses fighting a lot because after the pandemic and because of work from home. And I have seen many people who have been like, okay, please let me go to office, I don't want to fight with my spouse anymore. So yeah, then okay, if these problems are arising, what is the root cause, and how different is work from office and work from home? Well, I have listed some things. So while at office you're having meetups, as I said, a physical conversation is more healthier, and a person can understand your emotions, your body language better when you are face to face, rather than through a audio call or a video call or a text message. So the meetups, the tea parties or the tea meetups, coffee meetups, the small chats with your colleagues about how you're feeling or how stressed you're feeling because of the work, or what difficulties you're facing at your work, they are the kind of ventilation that we need. By ventilation, what I mean is, suppose you are in a room and there is no AC, no fan, and there's no provision also to put in that, but you have a window. So when you are feeling so uncomfortable, even that small window, opening that window can give you some fresh air and can make you feel better. The same way, your brain or your body, your mind is a packed room. You have to allow it to ventilate. And ventilation is nothing but speaking out, talking about the issues bothering you. Maybe not in depth, but at least to a certain extent, to let somebody know that certain things are bothering you, and that and you also might get to know that you're not alone and the other person is also going through something like that. That itself can be such a relief. So these things are not happening while we are working from home. And as I also told earlier, that we are not able to dress up and make our mind alert, or bring it to the conscious state while at work, to concentrate completely on the work. That is essential. The getting up, the taking bath or brushing, the haircut, the makeup, the shaving, the dress, all this is very essential to concentrate or to have your discipline even at work. And that is not happening. Also, we are not able to travel. The thrill or the adrenaline rush early in the morning, you have to cook, you have to make your children ready, or maybe plan everything at home and leave for work, catch the train or catch the bus, catch the cab immediately and reach right in time, and then check in, go and sit in your place, and then look at what the mails you have or what is the work assigned for today. That itself, that adrenaline rush is enough to make you alert for the day. That is not happening. So we are getting up a kind of lethargic, and we are continuing lethargic throughout the day. And that adrenaline rush is not happening. So we are not active. Also, as I already mentioned, there are no fixed work times. Any time of the day, some work comes up. You can't even plan going out because suddenly you might get a mail or a call saying that you got to do this work. Then we are not able to have good food most of the times because, again, there are no boundaries with respect to lunch time, dinner time, breakfast time. And we are all the time maybe having some chips and biscuits and chocolates, which are again unhealthy, do not meet the nutritional requirements and making us feel full. Then there's nothing to look forward to towards the end of the week, as I already said. And one more thing which we do not realize, that when we are at the office, we have good lighting, ambient conditions, the AC, the light music, or anything that makes us comfortable, maybe even a chair which we feel comfortable, the chair and the table. But many of these, or almost all of these things, might be lacking at our home, because it's not possible for everybody to have a conducive environment for work, because basically we never planned that we'll be working from home. So yeah, these things matter when it comes to working from home. And that is where I will be addressing about how to deal with work from home. So what we can do is we can target these basic problems itself to kind of balance our home and our work while at home. So how you can do it is, you might have to begin your day with a to-do list strictly. So that might also include having a calendar, like 9 a.m. I have to have my breakfast, 9:30 a.m. my bath, and 10 a.m. I sit for work. I check the mails. By 1 p.m. I should do half of this work and then have my lunch. By 1:30 p.m. I'll be back. And meanwhile, I'll not schedule any calls or any meetings. And then later half of the day, I'll complete my other work. And by 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., I should be able to complete this work. So as you begin, you might have some idea how much time this work is going to take for you to complete. So this is how you will have to make a to-do list. And the most important thing is stick to it. It is just like how we used to prepare for our exams. So we will have to decide on how much time we require and plan accordingly. And the most important factor here is nobody else can help you learn this, because only you know your capabilities. And I might advise you to do these things, but you know yourself best. So you will have to take the initiative to make this list and to stick to it. And yes, of course, in this list itself, you can mention about the regular breaks, maybe a 5-minute break or 10 minutes break, but you mandatorily, you have to include these breaks in your to-do list. This calendar also should include time for your family with respect to food. So by food time, I don't mean that you sit alone and have. If you have any one member in your family, please go and have the food with them. Even keep them informed that this is the time I'll be available for lunch. So let's have it together. Or in the evening, once I'm done with work, maybe we'll watch Netflix for an hour, or maybe we'll go out for a walk for half an hour, or maybe we'll go and have a tea somewhere or a coffee somewhere. So include this also in the calendar and stick to it. If you have some work commitments wherein you might not be able to stick to the calendar or not be able to give time to family, please keep them informed. It shouldn't come as a surprise at any day. Every day, you might be having some rough idea about what work might come at the end of the day, and which might lead to you being busy. So to prevent misunderstanding, always convey it to them. Even if you're in the middle of work, just text it to them that I might not be available, or just convey to them in some way that I'll be busy throughout the day because there's some urgent work coming up. And see to it that this doesn't repeat again and again and again. So for that, again, you have to stick to your calendar. And suppose if you are not working and it is your spouse who, or your family members who is working from home, and you are going through that emotional turmoil because of this emotional conflicts with your partner because of these issues, then try to understand, by being in their shoes, how would you have faced the situation if you were working from home? What would you expect from your family? And accordingly, try to give space to the working member. Try to talk to them as to how they can reduce their work and how they can involve the family or give more time to the family. And definitely do not isolate yourself at any point thinking that I have a lot of work to do and I'll not be able to concentrate. Please at least socialize by video calls or phone calls with your friends or other family members routinely, at least once a week. And on the weekends, always plan something. Maybe even cooking at your home can be a plan, or watching a movie together with your family at the end of the week can be a plan, not necessarily that you go out or party. And if any of your family member who is working from home, or the other members in your family who are watching you working from home, is having any kind of behavioral change in the form of often getting into quarrels, or often fighting, or often being irritable, then identify this behavior, because it can be sign of a mental health issue, and that might require some kind of intervention. Okay, and while you're working from home doesn't mean that you have to cut off from everybody else at your office just because you're not meeting them. You can maybe have a group with them and chat with them of how they are dealing with the work and how their family is coping up with these things, and are they planning to change their work, or are they happy with the workload? You know, a kind of chat that you would otherwise have while having tea. And yeah, while at office you were very active, there was this adrenaline rush, you were going commuting, and you were changing you were changing your mindset to get adjusted to work. This is lacking, but what you can do is compensate by engaging in exercise and being active. Like do not try to move around, even to grab a cup of coffee or to get your food. Walk yourself to the kitchen instead of calling somebody to get you things, or just casually have a stroll by in the middle while you are taking a break. And of course, learn new skills, because that keeps our brain active. Skills can be anything: music, dance, or making even a reel on Instagram, or singing, or even maybe a new language, anything, or painting. This will keep our mind fresh and active, and this also can give rise to some adrenaline rush. And yeah, definitely limit video calls, because many of the introvert kind of people, they are facing this issue that they do not want to face the camera, and here now they have to face one-on-one. They might not be comfortable with the background or their clothing or the way they look, or maybe they have gained weight because of the pandemic. So try to avoid video calls or limit video calls, again, for the betterment of your mental health. And always when you're planning the work, try to keep the most hectic work at the beginning of the day or whenever you feel you're most energetic. Some people are active after the lunch hours or towards the end of the day. So accordingly, you will have to schedule your work. And of course, stop having all these kind of junk foods and engage in some balanced diet and sleep hygiene. Sleep hygiene means you sleep at the same fixed time and wake up in the morning at fixed time. And it shouldn't be like today I get up at 7 and tomorrow 9 a.m. or day after 6 a.m. and 4 a.m. No, that is going to again severely damage your mental health. Again, keep your room dark, turn off the computer, turn off the Teams or the Zoom call or other notifications, and have a sound sleep. So the summary is identify how your work from home is different from your office. What are the changes or what are the things you used to like about your office, and what is lacking while you're working from home. So if you address these basic issues by the tips that I gave, then I think you'll be able to solve at least 30 to 40% of the work from home problems. And instead of feeling burdened, try to find solution by ventilating, by talking to somebody, or trying to change the environment, keeping yourself active, eating healthy food, and having sound sleep. And yes, do not wait for somebody to come and tell you, like, take this initiative or do this. Take charge of yourself. Nobody is going to help you. Nobody can help you. You will have to take charge of your life and yourself. And of course, seek help if required. If you feel that no, these things are not going to help your mental health, then definitely the therapist and the psychiatrists are there to help you. So thank you for your time, and I'll be glad to take any questions if you all have. I practice at Aster RV in J P Nagar, Bangalore. I'm a consultant psychiatrist there. Yeah, thank you all.
Thank you, doctor. You all can ask your questions on the chat box or unmute and speak. So we have 10-12 minutes for the question answers before we close. Thank you. Ma'am, I think there are no one asking questions. We'll just wait for 2 minutes if there are questions. Otherwise, we can wrap it up.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Gurleen, for your kind words. And thank you, Ms. Radha, also for your kind words. Thank you, Mr. Sachin. Yes, we'll try to do something with the corporate. We'll try to conduct more such sessions. Thank you, Ms. Jayashree.
I have one small question.
Yes, please.
Could be a very funny one. Apart
No
from
problem.
doing work from home, what about work for home?
I think that is a better idea these days, because you at least have some fixed working hours. And you can also, I think, fight with your family members if they burden you with work.
Avoid this. Thank you, ma'am, for the wonderful session. I think people don't have any questions because the PPT has been very clear.
Okay.
So, thanks for this, and looking forward to more sessions with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much, everyone, for your time.
Bye. Have a good day.
Bye.